Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us again in another one of our series of webinars. I'm really delighted to be able to welcome back Helen Pollard, Director of Marketing and Admissions, who's going to come to answer some of our questions about how a pupil becomes a pupil here. Now, I'm actually quite looking forward to this webinar because lots of the times I ask questions and I kind of know the answers to them, but actually I don't really know much about the official process behind getting a student into one of the classes so that we can teach them in the school. So let's start, if we talk to begin with about the fact that we're in a special circumstance here, being a state boarding school. Does that make the admissions process more complex?
Yes, in some ways. In other ways, no. I mean, as a state school, we follow the criteria that's set up for all state schools, and they're adapted for boarding schools. One of the main criteria, which is particularly relevant for boarders who are looking to come from overseas, is they have to be entitled to education in the UK.
Right.
Which means, in practice, they need to be an EU or UK resident and the citizen. In future, even EU citizens won't be able to come because of Brexit. Right. But at the moment, until the end of this year, EU citizens can come to the school. Or they have to live in this country. The other thing that, from the state school point of view, is we don't have an entrance exam, so we accept all abilities, and I think that's one of the things that makes us a really great and diverse school. The other thing we do, because everyone here is a boarder, they're either a full boarder or a flexi boarder, we interview every applicant to assess their suitability for boarding. And that way we can accept children who can cope with a less structured time in the boarding house.
So if we think about, presumably there's an admissions criteria, how does that work? So can anybody apply to be a flexi boarder? Can anyone apply to be a boarder? How do you apply the right criteria?
Yes, I mean, again, in common with all the state schools, we have admissions criteria. There's certain children who will always have a high priority, those who are looked after, those that have special educational needs. Then there's other higher priorities for children of MOD families, right. Siblings, staff children, and also for us, which is a really important part of our admissions criteria, is those that have a need for boarding or flexi boarding. Right. Because we have boarding and we have a charitable foundation, for us we really want to encourage children to come here who need it either because they've got difficult home circumstances or who need it perhaps for work reasons because they need that wraparound care. So that's something that makes us special, and it enables children who need what we have to offer more than those people who perhaps just live close and don't need it.
Absolutely, and we've talked a little bit on previous ones, haven't we, that the kinds of parents who really see our school as an attractive school is ones who maybe work up in London and have long commutes or work long days, I know, like maybe in my position, and think actually it's really helpful that the child can be dropped off, have breakfast, have dinner, have prep here and all of that. So you actually you've built that into the admissions criteria.
We have, and our governors have agreed it, and it's a very important part of what we do. Now, if you are in that position where you perhaps have one parent, a single parent who's full-time working and has trouble providing childcare, or you've got two parents who are trying to juggle it all and you're finding it really hard, what we would ask you to do is you can apply for a higher priority, and what we would ask you to do is provide letters from your employer explaining why you have, or explaining about your long and unpredictable hours and why it's important that you have flexi boarding. We will then take that information, we'll put it to our admissions committee, and they will make a decision about whether or not we can award that higher priority.
Okay. So let's imagine that we've got a parent now who's had a look on our website, they've had a chat with their family, and they think, yes, RAS is the place for my child. What is the process between that moment of decision and that child starting school with us in the autumn term?
Right, well, absolutely the first thing you need to do is fill in an application.
Right, okay.
And the application form is on our website, it's an online form now. We will receive that, and it's the same for boarding and flexi boarding. Once we've got that, the system actually will prompt you as a parent to send a reference, a request to your current school. Actually, that's mainly for boarding. If you're a boarding applicant, we need a reference from your current school, and that's an online form they fill in, and it's just got questions about how your child copes with being away from home, if they stayed away. Any issues that they may think your child might have in terms of being in boarding, but it's not a reference in terms of academic ability.
Because we're a non-selective school,
Exactly.
I think that's really important to understand.
It's really to help us assess whether the child will cope in boarding, because what we don't want to do is take the child into boarding and then it all fall apart and it just not work for them.
Absolutely.
So once we've received that reference, we will then interview the child. For flexi boarding, we don't do the reference at that stage. We will do it perhaps after the interview if we feel we need it. So we interview the child for boarding or flexi boarding to assess suitability. And once we've made a decision about suitability, then they can go on the list, be offered a place. Now, it depends what year they're applying for, whether we've got spaces on the process there. For year 3 and year 7, which are normal admission years, we will then create a list which we'll send to the local authority. They will then make the offers of places.
Right.
And that in theory is for boarding and flexi boarding. In practice for boarding, most people don't necessarily apply by the deadline, so actually you can apply any time for boarding.
Right.
But if you want flexi boarding, you need to apply by the deadline. And the deadline for year 7 is the end of October, and for year 3 it's the middle of January. You need to check the actual dates for the year.
Absolutely. And then deposits?
Yes, once we've offered a place, you need to accept the place, and the way you accept a place is by signing the acceptance form and paying a deposit. And once you've done that, the place is secured.
So if I'm thinking about a flexi boarder, there would be a catchment area. Obviously we've got then the different priorities. Around how big is our catchment area here?
It changes every year because it's not actually a catchment area, it's just how far we go geographically.
Yeah.
So depending on how many people apply and where they live. But I mean, realistically, for year 3, we're lucky to reach 1 mile. For year 7, we would be very lucky to reach 2 miles at the moment.
Right.
More like 1 mile. So we don't go far because we have so many children that come, either they're siblings or they meet some of the other criteria.
Because what we do actually have a number of is some of our pupils, our boarders, do live kind of internationally. But we have a number of boarders, don't we, who, you know, just don't meet the criteria for flexi boarding because they just live a little bit too far away. And then they think, well, actually, I might as well make the switch over to boarding. Is that correct?
That's true. And in fact, we sometimes, if they ring up and say, oh, I'm really disappointed I didn't get a flexi boarding place, we'll say, well, have you considered boarding? And they'll go, well, no. But actually, boarding is costs pretty much similar amount to a day place in independent school. And so when parents realise that, they think, well, actually, I really like Royal Alexandra and Albert School. I like its ethos. I like its inclusivity.
Yeah.
So they do consider it, and we have had people accept a boarding place once they've been unsuccessful with flexi boarding.
Because really the only difference between being a boarder and a flexi boarder is that the child is actually staying over in that bed at night every night.
Exactly.
The flexi stays 7 to 10 nights a year. So actually what you're saying is, by the time I pick my child up after prep at 7, 8 o'clock at night, actually we have them here as a boarder. Are boarders allowed home at weekends?
They are. They can go home. We have Saturday morning school, so they can go home at about midday before lunch, and then come home on Sunday evening. So yes, they can still have their weekends at home. And you know, if there's a special occasion, a birthday during the week, there's nothing to stop the parent arranging with the house, maybe to take them out for a meal. You know, we're not. It's not like the olden days. We're not a prison. We don't restrict access to children. But if you do take them out at other times, we expect parents to contact the house. So yes, I mean, boarding is a brilliant solution for working parents.
And in particular, I presume people, and I'm thinking obviously with the current circumstances, people who are doing shift work and who maybe work in hospitals, etc. Boarding can really work for that, can't it, as well?
It can, and yeah, and it does. I mean, we've got a lot of children in school at the moment who have parents in those circumstances. So yes, that works really well.
Okay, so I think when we're talking here, I think we're probably in our mind very much thinking year 3 entry points and year 7 entry points. How about sixth form entry points? How does that, is that exactly the same process?
It's a little bit different.
Right.
You still need to apply online. We still get a reference from the current school, but the reference is more about academic ability and how they'll cope with the subjects that they're requesting. Then we still have to take into account whether the child will cope with boarding. Though having said that, in the sixth form, the local children are what we call non-boarders, which means they're not flexi boarders, because by that time the 7 to 10 nights staying overnight here isn't really suitable for that age group. They are day pupils, but they stay for the extended day, and we technically call them non-boarders. So they don't need the suitability for boarding
But
assessment.
they still have access to the co-curriculum programme, the extended day,
Yes.
for prep time, dinner.
Yeah, so they're here for the long day, they just don't stay overnight. So I suppose in many respects they are like all the boarders.
And obviously that's reflected in a different price point between a flexi boarder lower down the school and then a sixth form day package.
Yes, there's a big reduction in
Different non-boarding
cost
package.
there. The other thing for the sixth form, not being a selective school, but actually for the sixth form we are selective because there's no point in a child enrolling on an academic course that they're not going to succeed in. So our entry criteria are 5 GCSEs at grades 4 to 9, including English and Maths. So they will need to meet that entry criteria. We will make offers of places subject to them meeting that. And the other thing they're able to apply for in sixth form is one of our sixth form scholarships. We have leadership scholarships. Because we feel as a school from the age of 7 to 18, there's a lot of opportunity for our sixth form to lead younger children and also lead initiatives like Black History Month we run or History Week and various things.
They lead on the co-curriculum programme as well, they can be part of that, can't they?
So I think there's so many leadership opportunities and I think that's one of the things that makes our sixth form really stand out. So we offer scholarships to encourage children who have those qualities to come to the school and benefit from what we offer. We also offer music scholarships and sports scholarships. So there's lots of ways that we can develop these children in areas that we have strength and where we offer a great deal of support. I'm trying to think of other things. Yeah, the applications for the sixth form are open right through to August, and in fact August is one of our busiest times of admissions because the minute results come out, all of it changes. We get new applications from people who actually have thought it through and actually I do want to go there. Unfortunately some children don't make the grade, but some people do make the grades.
I mean, I can probably jump in here because obviously I lead the academic part of the school and you're absolutely right, we do have entry requirements into our sixth form. But I would still say that there's still a diversity of pathways. Yes, you're right, it's 5 grades 4 to 9 including English and Maths. That's our general entry requirement. But within that, there will be some subjects that we have higher entry requirements to and some that it's just the sixth form entry requirements as a whole. And it's probably worth our parents having a look at the sixth form options booklet, which is on our website, and kind of having a look at that and thinking about, you know, what kind of grades they're getting at the moment and which subjects would be right for that pupil. So you mentioned a little bit about sports and music scholarships. Is that just sixth form that we have those in?
Yes, at the moment for September 20, yes it is, because the deadline for year 7 and year 9 admissions for scholarships has passed.
Right.
But for September 21, younger children can apply for scholarships for music and sport. And the reason we're offering those is because we've just become an all Steinway school, which means all our pianos are Steinway pianos, which are amazing. We're going to be taking delivery of them this term, and these will offer amazing opportunities for our musicians. It's not just on the pianist, but it sort of creates a culture of aspiration more than we've ever had before in terms of music. And on sports, we're known as a sporting school, partly I think because of our amazing facilities. We've got so many rugby pitches, we've got amazing grounds, and also because of the amazing people we've got. We've got heads of sport for a number of our sports, and they are really driving performance for our sports pupils. So we not only give them a discount, but we also provide a whole programme to nurture their talents as scholarship students.
Because there's definitely kind of, I think, two things that we're trying to do in music and sports, etc. Is that I think it's about sport for all and music for all and everybody kind of getting involved and learning skills. I think that's really, really important. But it's also about facilitating those elite sports pathways, those elite pathways, so that those pupils can really be given opportunities to develop their skills and their performance skills and their experience and have access to some, you know, really excellent coaching as well as part of that. I think that's really important to fill those two different areas of what we're trying to achieve in sport and music. Okay, I mean, I think that's been a really useful...
Can I just add one more thing that I forgot to mention earlier, and that is timing. We've talked about timing of applications for flexi-boarding. For year 3 and year 7, there are deadlines for flexi-boarding. But I just wanted to say, for boarding applicants, actually, whilst in theory for year 3 and year 7 there are deadlines, most people don't know they need boarding until perhaps nearer September. So we don't fill all our places. We are getting tight in some year groups, but we have still got boarding places in a number of year groups. So I would encourage parents that there is still a time to apply for September, and that includes the sixth form. So don't be put off by the fact we are getting quite close to September. We are still accepting applications, and it isn't too late to apply.
I think my advice would be, and I think this is particularly pertinent in the current situation, if you think that boarding, or if you think that RAS might be the place for you, I think it's really about giving us a call, discussing what your individual circumstances are, because there's probably some questions here that we can't just answer today, but giving us a call and one of your team will be able to talk parents through that process, so we're really clear about whether this is the right school.
That's right, and we're here all term time, but we also work right through the holidays, so we're always available to talk to, and we're happy to talk to you about our school.
Great. Well, thank you so much again for logging into us today. If you do have any questions, as I say, either pick up the phone or do just jot them into the comments section here, and one of the admissions team will be able to answer them for you. I'm really looking forward to the fact on Thursday I will be having a webinar with the head of junior school and the deputy head of junior school, Mr Greenwood and Mr Loeffler, and they're going to be talking to me a little bit about what it means to be a junior boarder here all the way from year 3. So please tune in and speak to us on Thursday. Thank you.